This is Istanbul, and today we're showing you luxury living here in the heart of Turkey, how you can live like a king. And we're going to be showing you fine dining at some of my favorite restaurants from the past decade, shopping on the 5th Avenue of Istanbul, experiencing Turkey's amazing Hamam spa experience, and meeting entrepreneurs talking about the future of the country. But first, yeah, there's so much talk about what's the morning routine? What does Warren Buffett do when he wakes up? And I think Alex Hormozi cracked this open, and I love that. I don't have a morning routine. I wake up, I get to work, open the laptop, start doing things. I don't do meditation. Maybe I should, but I just get right into it. And it's a struggle sometimes. When you say, okay, I'm going to go for my morning thinking walk. Let me just do half an hour of getting back to some people first. But half an hour can lead to an hour, can lead to 2 hours as you get sucked into things. To me, this idea that any morning routine is going to be so perfect, I think it's very un-king-like, actually. I mean, I think the king adapts to the circumstances and makes circumstances adapt to him to a certain point. What I think is great about Istanbul is for someone who is living a pied-à-terre kind of global lifestyle, Turkish Airlines and this city is very well connected. And so some of the elements I wanted to put around the home were indicative of where are the places that you might go, where are the people that might have come to Istanbul over the years. Whether you lived here 1 week a year or the entire year, you would be able to go pretty much anywhere you want in the world. I had a friend who came here from Chicago to visit me once, and he's like, no one in Chicago goes out anymore. No one in New York. It's not as busy as it used to be. We walked up and down some of the streets in Istanbul. It's this is teeming with life. People are excited and full of vitality here in a way that doesn't exist in the US anymore. Turkey has some of the best breakfast. I remember I was at one of the hotels, and I really hate staying at hotels these days, which is why I got the house for layovers. But I said, I don't want any bread this morning. And they brought 5 pieces of bread. I'm like, I said no bread. They said, this is no bread. They like having a hearty breakfast, but they like having stuff. This is what I want to eat. I don't understand cold cereal. I don't understand a hard-boiled egg. Give me something that's delicious like this. I think there's a great entrepreneurial culture in Turkey, and historically you've had some really smart people leave the country, but you've got a country that is growing. I think fewer people are leaving. There's more opportunities here. Morning.
Morning, how are you?
Good. For someone, though, who's from the West, and they say, oh, I'm afraid of living in a Muslim country, to me, a neighborhood like this is very international and very internationally minded.
Yeah, especially in these streets, you walk around. I mean, this place, House Cafe. So you always feel that this is an international environment. Now, being the international hub, especially, you also said that you are passing through Istanbul when you travel. So a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
I meet investors, entrepreneurs. They generally have a house in Istanbul.
If you come through enough, or if you're making investments here.
Exactly.
And we've even looked at, can we hire a few people here, especially I think for
IT.
certain roles. IT, sales. The salesmanship in Turkey is
good. Yeah.
is good. Yeah, it's interesting to see when you become a hub, when you let people come through, when you've got a relatively open visa policy, people come and one thing leads to the other.
Exactly. Because of the market and the market expansion in other places that are larger than Turkey, people tend to start a business in Turkey and then at the end expand to UK, US, and other regions. If you are a business owner or investor that you would like to set up a business in Turkey, I think they made it much, much easier. And the government is asking to pass another regulation that could make startups' life easier.
Primarily in the e-commerce, IT area?
My becoming kind of a startup guy after 10 years in corporate life was an e-com company. So we built an e-com company for Turkish retailers. And then I moved to Trendyol. Trendyol became a huge success in Turkish e-commerce, especially acquired by Alibaba. Now it's a decacorn.
A decacorn?
Yeah.
10 billion US.
15 billion.
15 billion US.
I think it's more now. I don't know exactly the number. But I started with e-com. I was there when Rocket Group came to Turkey, did a lot of things and left abruptly in 2 years.
They have a lot of problems in a lot of markets, don't they?
They do, yeah. But I think unknowingly they helped the Turkish ecosystem because they hired 1,000 people and fired them 2 years later. So we had now 1,000 people trained fast in 2 years. So the other startups could use those talents at the end.
a lot of people are moving here and buying property and starting businesses, as you said, from the Middle East, from Jordan,
Lebanon, Egypt, even Qatar.
People are bringing money.
Exactly.
They're not just coming and
Exactly.
looking for work.
But I think based on the prices of the houses increased so much, and then it's now stuck there for a while. It's not increasing that much as it did for the like 5-10 years.
It's not increasing as much anymore.
Yeah.
So if you
it's not.
followed me 4 years ago and you said, I'm going to buy in Turkey, you were smart.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think things are moving in the right direction or the wrong direction?
Right direction.
In a big way or slowly?
Midway.
Yeah.
Not big, not small, but they are doing. I think we will see, maybe not in a few years, but in 5 to 10 years, if you are investing in Turkey now, especially in tech side, you will see a good return.
Now, Istanbul may not be a place that you want to live full-time or at all. You can get Turkish citizenship just by buying a property. This can be a place you come when you need to. If you want to learn how to access a plan B for your citizenship, a place to go in times of chaos, better investment opportunities, and even how to lower your taxes, Nomad Capitalist has helped clients from all around the world do just that. It is our specialty. Go to nomadcapitalist.com/apply and learn how you can live like a king all over the world by creating a holistic plan that protects your finances, your freedom, and creates a great lifestyle for you. So we're in the neighborhood of Nişantaşı, and there's 4 districts within Nişantaşı. Maçka is where the 5th Avenue of Istanbul is, with Prada and Louis Vuitton and fine bistros, hotels. But right behind that, you'll see Tejvikiye, this residential area where things are quieter. You've got some great local cafes, a lively culture, but it's less congested here than you'd find. And yet you're also within a walking distance to areas like Bomonti, which are a bit more accessible. I love just walking down beautiful cityscapes. We're going to walk down the 5th Avenue here of Istanbul, and we're going to see all that you can do here. Just so many really nice, not only international brands, luxury brands. You've got Marks & Spencer, obviously not such a luxury brand. You've got more regional brands, lesser known brands. Of course, you've got all the bridal gowns. Just a great variety of street retail. You've seen a couple spots open up, but they always get filled, and I think it always gets better. Stefano Ricci's interesting. Oh, we have some competition now. Oh, they have my Thomas Mason shirts. I remember the very first time I came to Istanbul, I was staying not so far away from here, and I got a recommendation to go to a restaurant we're going to go to in a minute, and I just came down this street and said, this would be a great area to live. And if there's any message that I want people watching Nomad Capitalist to get is, years later, I ended up doing just that, living not so far away. So it was here in Istanbul that I coined the phrase DTLV, distance to Louis Vuitton. You could explain real estate this way. Oh, I'm 5 blocks DTLV. I'm 300 meters DTLV. You can buy real estate in an amazingly convenient and luxurious area, very affordably. If you want to get the passport with that real estate, you can do that. And you've got access to a lot of things that are affordable and a great service culture. This is one of the first restaurants I came to when I visited Istanbul over a dozen years ago, and I have been to this restaurant every single one of the dozens of times I've come here since. It's a ritual. I don't miss it. How's it going, boss?
Hello, sir.
Good to see you again.
Yeah,
I was saying I come here every time.
Yes, I know.
Every time. He knows. Hi.
Please.
Good afternoon. This is like a table for more than a king. This is for a sultan, for one person. This is what you get. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
You didn't think I'd be back so soon?
Sorry.
Sure. So always the spicy couscous, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm not as big a fan of the tomato. The spicy yogurt is nice.
Yeah.
This is the remind.
Eggplant with yogurt and garlic.
All right, we'll do that. Garlic's good. Istanbul is a service culture. Turkey is a service culture. And so you're going to see great service. They're going to make sure your water is filled. They're going to make sure you have enough to eat. They're going to, pour more wine. And that is in contrast to some of the places in the region. And so I look at places that have more of a Turkish influence. If you go to Albania, for example, you're going to have more attentive service than you would have in a place where I spend time, like Montenegro. There's a certain amount of flexibility. People want to work with you. And so if you're coming from a Western European country, it's always about people just make up so many rules that get in your way. Here is, can we both benefit? Can we sell you something? Can we rent our apartment to you for an extra month? Can we do whatever? Can we find a common ground that benefits both parties, and they do it without as many made-up rules. And what I like about Istanbul and Turkey is the openness, and that they've said, listen, if you're from Russia, if you're from Belarus, you can still come here. We're not going to discriminate. And those people have bought real estate here. It's been a great investment. And I think that's a very interesting thing in the future of the world, that we're not going to have one set of countries dictating who can go and who can not go. I looked at a map of who's sanctioning Russia. It's like 45 countries, except for Japan and South Korea. They're all the U.S. and North America and Europe. And the rest of the world just says, no, we're going to treat you the way we treat everybody else.
We go in the center of Istanbul, there are so many people from all around the world. Like sometimes it reminds me of New York a lot.
This one is our special Turkish pizza.
Yeah, okay, that looks great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, when we started this Live Like a King, I imagine people thought, what's the most ostentatious place you can go? What's the most beautiful cafe? What's the sexiest restaurant? And for me, truly successful people, they want to eat caviar for dinner one night, and then they want to get a hot dog on the street the next day. Or they want to buy a pretzel or the chestnuts, and they appreciate the blending of the different experiences. And to me, that's what living like a king is about. And I think to some extent you can do that in Dubai, but it's probably not as accessible in the places that you would want to live. Thank you very much. You're very generous.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. See, this is who you like. They're nice. You've been coming. It's nice. No, it's nice to have relationships that are many years, even decades long, where you can go there and you're treated well and you're respected. That's what living like a king is all about. It's rosé all day at Baş Köşe. Let's go. Sometimes you just want that international taste of home, and you can get that a lot of places around the world, but certainly you can find it in a lot of places here in Istanbul. Don't judge me on the coffee, because I don't drink coffee. They got charred coffee. That's your business. Ishlak hamburger.
Yeah, okay.
Just one. You want
One?
No, just one.
Okay.
Soup. All right, so we're pretty full from Baş Köşe, and this is touristy, but you have to try the Ishlak hamburger. We're here at the main tourist shopping street, Istanbul, on our way to the Hamam. It's here in like 20 seconds. Okay, it's more expensive than the tourist area. This is like $2.50. We're on our way to the Hamam, where we're going to enjoy the ultimate Turkish spa experience. These walks are the most creative time I have of the day. And if you're in a city like Istanbul, where you don't live all the time, you get to really experience what's happening in everyday life that you don't if you just get chauffeured around everywhere. This whole thing is Istanbul's new Galata port. They've been working on this for a while. It's one of the biggest malls. They've got so many shops, so many restaurants right along the Bosphorus. It's really a beautiful thing. So you could go to one of the 5-star hotels here in Istanbul and get a perfectly good hammam. You'll pay a lot, not a problem. But to me, the experience isn't as good. There's more bureaucracy involved. I like doing something a bit more authentic. This is one of the oldest hammams, and they've restored it to this beautiful condition. You're right next to a mosque of the same name, which has been here since the 1500s. This is one of the best hammams in Istanbul. You're Ergin.
Yeah,
Andrew.
pleased to meet you.
Pleasure.
Andrew.
Thanks for having us. So this mosque is 1580.
That's correct.
Is the hammam the
As
same?
well. Yeah.
So this is 450 years old.
Yeah, they're done at the same time with the madrasa behind.
And
So
you
it's,
can buy this.
you can.
You can buy a hammam from 1580.
You can. I bought the place in 2005.
2005,
Yeah.
and then you spent 7 years.
Yeah, for restoring it and then to run it.
How does that work for a 400 and some year old building to restore it?
It's very complicated. And for a person
Delicate.
who's not a restorer
Yeah.
or who's not an architect, it's even worse.
What is your background?
I'm a business graduate, I have an MBA, I'm a normal businessman.
This would be a good addition to a portfolio, a diversified portfolio. You have some tech stocks, you have some real estate, and you have a hammam from 1580.
Well, this is more a passion plan.
Yeah.
It doesn't work in financially it doesn't work, because when you do restore a place for 8 years, and then you run it for another 10 years, and still it's not paying off.
It's not where it needs to be.
No.
And so right now this is like the ladies' hour inside.
Yeah, it's ladies' hours ending,
Okay.
and then the men's shift will start.
This is very different from what a lot of Westerners might be expecting, where even you go to a gym in the Western world and the sauna, the pool, the hot tub, everything is communal. Here, the classic way is people are separate.
Women and men are separate, but people are all together. So it's communal bath,
like that.
like onsen in Japan or banya in Russia. It's pretty much the
But
same.
men and women not together.
Not together.
How should you feel when you leave the hammam? What's the goal?
Normally, there are two things to get away with. One is your body. You're fully scrubbed, so your body rejuvenates, and that skin is gone, which relaxes you immediately. But the other thing is the heat and the water, which also gives you a different circulation for blood. Come on.
It's hammam time. The cameras can't come in, but when I come out, I'll be a whole new person. So that was a very almost solemn experience. It's an extremely fraternal environment. It is everyone there to help you. And I've never experienced a hammam like this before. So much better than the hotels, so much more thoughtful in terms of the approach. You really feel clean after doing that. Now, it's off to dinner and drinks. All right. Hi,
Hello.
I'm Andrew.
This is Ant. I'm the general manager of
Ant?
the hotel.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, the hotel.
Yes.
Wow, he's the big boss. Big
Peanut.
boss. Peanut. He's the big peanut.
And
boss.
he's our chef
Hi.
of
Yes,
Serika
Andrew
restaurant.
Henderson.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure. So this is Turkish cuisine,
Yes.
and we've been saying people here love Turkish cuisine. Everybody loves Turkish, but I understand it's kind of both historical and modern.
Exactly.
How do you pull that off?
In the palace culture and the traditions and the techniques, like, for example, the tandoori.
Oh, the tandoori.
Yeah.
That was in the Ottoman Empire. It was tandoori.
Yes, because meat was the main dish.
Right.
So it was always cooked open fire.
From a business perspective, you have a hotel. Where are the guests coming from? Are they coming from other places in Turkey, from the region, from the West?
Our hotel is based and relies on mostly on the States,
U.S.
US,
Okay.
and then UK and Europe.
Right.
This is our majority of our customers' perspective.
I think the best view in Istanbul, here at Karakoy, you've got the fish market down there. Tell me about the freshness of the ingredients in Turkish cuisine. How do you do it?
It's not just the fish, of course. We are using also our bazaars, which are very popular. The markets, the local markets.
Over here,
Yes,
the touristy ones, but I'm sure there's others.
the local
The
ones.
local markets, the ones we wouldn't
Not
go to.
where you can find the Turkish delights. Not that one. Just, the local people where they get their daily foods, vegetables, ingredients. Our chef has prepared the favorite plates. So this plate is a marinated sea bass. This plate is artichoke. It is coming exactly from a very special place, which is very famous with the artichokes.
Where's the artichokes from? I know like in Rome it's a big thing. Where are they from here?
From the Aegean side, it's called urla.
Urla.
Urla. And the third plate is being cooked in the tandoori. It's a lamb shoulder with stuffed onions. So if you are ready, we can taste.
I've had the artichoke, as they call it in Rome, but this looks a little softer and a little easier to eat. So this is the Turk-Aegean one.
Sure.
We're gonna keep it really light because we're going right upstairs for drinks after this. That's perfect, just a taste. Hi, Shako.
Hi, how are you?
Better than I deserve. Did you eat?
Oh, not yet.
Yeah, we were downstairs. It's really nice. I was here about a year ago. They have really nice cocktails, and you can't beat this, honestly.
The view's amazing.
The guy this morning was telling us, like, the reason they don't do paper menus as much here, it's not COVID, as people might think. It's because they don't want to change it every time the lira is weaker.
Exactly.
They got to jack up the price. Thank you. This is, yeah, I love these, like, purple. This is wild.
What is this?
It's an olive.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they're like fleshier than a lot of olives.
I've got a friend who's kind of like a businessman, a millionaire or something like that, always has some ideas.
Yeah.
And he was asking me, like, how hard is it to kind of like create a company like Nomad Capitalist? Like, can we do it in 3 years? I'm like, people in this industry don't really understand that it takes that road, that hard road, that maybe you had to go through to create a company like that.
Looking back, I've realized what makes anyone successful is an incredible pain tolerance. And I had a coach, he's like, I've never met anyone who takes more pain and misery and rejection than you. And I kind of don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
But I realized, like, I just didn't have that switch of like, wow, this is painful, I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
Well, so we had that thing for the NCL launch.
Yeah.
Where we had like, what was like 33,000 people on the waiting list. And then you ascertained that like 10,000 of them were people who you retargeted, who were looking for like student visas from Pakistan or something.
Yeah, so I mean, like, that was the case. I mean, and we discussed that. I mean, when we are targeting certain countries through interests, and Google doesn't really always know that you're top 1% or not. I mean, because I mean, who knows, right? Who can really get into your bank account, right? When we're targeting people in Dubai, I mean, you're gonna get a lot of people who owns huge businesses and have a lot of money and like are really interested in the services that we offer. But I mean, also you're gonna get like a lot of hundreds of thousands of people who have the same interest but don't really have the means to get that done right now. I've said it multiple times. We're not like .com or something like that, who get their like most of the traffic from the top 10 richest countries in the world.
Billionaires in Thailand.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can do that article tomorrow. I'm gonna, trust me.
It's like BuzzFeed for citizenship.
Yeah, so nobody really cares. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we talked about at the end of the day, it just comes down to how much money you get. That's the business.
So today we saw the most luxurious neighborhood in Istanbul, some of my favorite restaurants with amazing service. We had a great spa experience that is like nothing else you've ever seen, and we're ending it with drinks on this rooftop bar. There are so many options to eat and drink and be merry and live in Istanbul at incredibly affordable prices. You don't have to live here full time, but it's a place that you can check out. It's a place that you can know is an option for you. We're going to keep showing you places to live like a king. And until then, good night from Istanbul.